She needy? Ugh, needy women. Clingy? Ugh. You want the ones that are happy to talk to you when they talk to you. They don't need to talk to you all the time. If she has any kind of controlling behavior, that goes back to jealousy, suspicion. She wants to manage your time as well as hers. She wants to be with you all the time. She wants to know where you are, what you're doing. Controlling behavior, red flag. You don't want to be in a long-term relationship with her. And then if she has any fear of losing the relationship, ugh, don't you hate that? You meet a girl, and the second time you hang out with her, she's talking about being exclusive. So I had that bomb dropped on me and not too long ago, and I was telling my friend about it. And we're laughing about it. And he's like, man, didn't you just want to say to her, I mean, I just met you. This is the second time we're ever hanging out. And you're asking me if we're going to be exclusive? So, you know, there's a woman who's afraid of losing something before it even becomes anything. So those red flags, you don't want to waste time in a bad relationship. That hurts. So those are the top 10 mistakes. If you didn't write them all down, you know, there's probably a couple of them that you can like, oh, I wrote down. That's good. Not everybody has all of them. But you can go back and watch the DVD online when it comes out, eventually someday, and go back through. So that's all I have for you today. I'll be hanging around a little bit too if you ask questions, but I'll open it now. We have a few minutes for questions. People always sit up front, always pay attention and ask good questions.
Yeah. Okay, so my question is about when you're talking about staying in a bad relationship, and what are your views with, say, a bad relationship with your parents?
Oh, you know, it's a really good question. When you get older, and I've not lost my parents yet, so I'm very fortunate, but I have a lot of friends who have, and you don't want to leave things unsaid. And I'll give you a quick story. My dad was never a hugger. It was just, I knew the way my grandparents were raised. They were very reserved in their emotions. My dad was never a hugger. And in my mid-20s, I decided that my dad's going to start hugging everybody in the family. So it was tough the first few times I'd hug him, but it took about maybe a month or 2 months. And now, man, he is, everybody in the family, he hugs them. He wasn't raised that way, so he didn't know that that was okay to do. It was okay for a guy to do that. So the point of the story is that you can take the initiative to kind of restore the relationship. You mean they have a bad relationship together, or yours and theirs?
Mine and theirs.
Mine and theirs. They're probably right in what they told you. You're just too pig-headed to listen? Sorry. I was. But no, go to your parents. It's kind of designed in nature that they've been down the road a little bit further. Your parents probably know you better because they've known you since this. They know how you are. They see your blind spots. So whatever you can do to restore the relationship, you won't regret it. I mean, if you make the effort and they turn you down, you know, try again in a few months. Make the effort again. Eventually, they'll come around. You know, no one wants to die old and alone. We don't want. And when you get older, you're going to appreciate the time with your parents even more. Good question.
All right. I really enjoyed your speech, especially the part about the crazy mom, because I recently, I had thought I'd figured out all the red flags, and I missed the crazy mom one, and that ended up being the fatal flaw there. But one of the things you brought up was if, you know, you see a friend in a bad relationship, saying something to them. That's something I've actually avoided in the past because I've seen that blow up against me many, many times. How would you approach that?
It's a good way. That's a very good question, Greg. Good to see you, too. How would you approach that? I think with your friends, like being the one who is the social leader or the initiator, you've got to set the tone in all your relationships with people. A lot of people come from kind of banged up relationships, banged up friendships. Our culture is really different. Guys aren't supposed to be really close in America. You know, we're supposed to talk about sports. I can honestly say that, and this is answering your question, I honestly say that when I hang out with my buddies, we rarely talk about the football team or this and that. Actually, we're talking about relationships, what's going on in your life, what are you doing, where are you going, what's happening with the situation. So you kind of have to be the leader when you set up your relationships, that you disclose things of your own life. You know, hey man, I'm in this, I screwed up this way. That's the best way to have somebody close to you. If it's a confidant, somebody you can trust, man, I really screwed the pooch the other day on this one. And hopefully that's not referring to a girl that I met, right? I screwed that pooch now. They're like, what were you thinking? So he told the other day, it's a young guy, and I work with him, and he's like, first time he ever went to a bar out by the University of Central Florida. He's like, man, I was dancing with this girl. We're all hanging out, and he goes, and then we went to Steak and Shake afterwards, and they walked in, and like, that girl's got no teeth, dude. And he's like, oh, I was dancing with her. But she had teeth, but they're like really small. Her grill was messed up. But you need friends to tell you that before and go, man, come here, what are you doing? But what you have to set the tone of the relationship. You have to kind of disclose yourself, your weaknesses to your friends, and build that kind of relationship. I did that with a friend of mine. Two of us had an intervention a couple years ago, seeing that he was in a bad relationship. We saw all these warning signs right into it. And we're like, what are you thinking? And we're like, it's okay for guys. If you got a guy close, we say, man, I remember one of my buddies, we're sitting at this table, the three of us. He says, I love you, dude, but your girlfriend is and you fill in the blank. I can't say it on TV. The worst word that you can call a girl. He's like, I love you, man, but your girlfriend's starts with a C. So, you know, a lot of times a guy may jump across the table, and if he doesn't do that, he might say, screw you. I mean, what kind of friend are you? You got to do that. So you got to set the climate in your relationships for honesty, and then you got to ask for it. You got to ask your friends. You got to tell them things, and they'll tell you when you're screwing up. And they'll say, by the way, hey, you know what? You should lose 20 pounds. And then, so if you listen to your friends, good question though. You got to set the climate, set the tone. So basically, all this stuff, a lot of stuff in your life, it comes down to embracing your role as a leader. You know, you guys have a chance of being leaders because you're sitting in here trying to improve your life. Other guys don't even think about this stuff. You know, they watch ESPN, they do this, they go out, they drink, they chase girls. Literally, you know, they do the neediness. And they never think about changing the whole paradigm. So kudos to you guys for doing that. It's not popular in our culture to be the leader. It's not popular to be the initiator. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes it's like a little nervous, nerve-wracking. Am I going to do that? Sometimes it's a matter of sitting back and being patient and waiting for a girl to chase you. But all times you think, hey, I'm the leader. I'm going to set the tone for what my relationships are going to look like. And then I want to set the stage for what I want the rest of my life to look like. So, and thanks. Thanks for your time today. Great audience.
Give it up. Hello. All right, awesome. All right, good job, man. Yeah, beware of messed up grills.
Exactly, too. Messed up girls and messed up grills.
Awesome. All right, now cool. For everybody watching at home, go to the next video. Ding. And for you guys here.